We're going to break down the brand new champion golfer of the year, the winner of the Open Championship here in 2024, Xander Schauffele. We're going to go over his driver swing and we're going to go over his iron swing. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe, and I'd really appreciate it if you go check out a few of my other videos. I do swing analysis like this one, as well as some course vlogs, and I post some tips and drills. So let's start right here with the down the line of the driver swing. So as you can see, I've got a plain line here down the driver shaft and in through his waist, and then I've got a circle around his head. Let's get started with the backswing here. Perfect setup, first of all. You can see as he's taking the club back, he takes it back more in a straight line than he does more inside. He does come inside that line just a little bit, and then as he gets here, you can see that this club head is outside of his hands as he gets to this spot here in his backswing. That is a huge power move. He's trying to get as much length in that backswing as he can. Continuing on back, great spot there as his arm gets to parallel right on the plane line. Continuing back, you can see his head has started to drop just a little bit. As he gets to the top here, you can see he's got a slight bow of that gloved hand, that left wrist. He's got a lot of bend here in that front leg. He's really shifting that weight onto this back leg, but you notice that his back leg is not straightened. He's still got some bend in that back leg. Left arm completely straight as he gets to the top. And then as we start the downswing here, you can see as he gets very top, you can see his club face is in a good spot. He's got that wrist bow, which is going to match that club face angle. A lot of depth. You can see his hands don't get too far back. They get right around where his heels are there. And then as we continue down, you can see he tucks that right elbow right into that hip as he's flipping those hips towards the target, pushing off that right foot. Look at this position here. You can see this right foot back here is pushing off onto that right toe. And then you can see the club head is way back by his elbow. He's got that elbow tucked into his right hip. Tons of lag. You can see his head, again, has dropped pretty far down, probably a couple inches there. And then continuing on, as he gets to the impact position, just absolutely beautiful position here. Hips have rotated, belt buckle to the target. Once again, pushing off that right leg. I mean, it's just textbook position. And then as he comes through, finishing low and left, that club comes through his arm there. Perfect position. Again, club face is rotated over. Look how much his head drops after impact. He's really trying to keep that head back behind the golf ball. And then completely balanced on the follow through onto that front left leg. Just great balance and beautiful golf swing. Let's take a look at the face-on view. So on this face-on view, I've drawn a couple lines on his legs there. You can see he's got his toes slightly flared. Feet are a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. And then we've got a circle around his head to see what his head does. Ball position looks really good, right off his left heel, maybe a little bit inside his left heel. Great position for the driver. And then another thing I want you to notice here is his shoulder angle at address. You can see he really wants to hit up on the golf ball, so that shoulder angle is well tilted. So as we start into the backswing, I want you to notice one thing. He has a slight little kind of sway backwards into that, shifting that weight into that right leg. That's kind of his trigger. But I want you to see how low he keeps the driver head to the ground on his takeaway. I mean, he's a foot and a half behind the golf ball, and it looks like he's barely an inch off the ground at this point. Lots of length here. Again, pushing back. He's pushing that driver head back towards left of the screen here. And then as he continues on, you can see as he gets that left arm to parallel, lots of lag and length in that driver and that shaft. You can kind of see here that you can see a little bit of space here. He's kind of, again, shifted that weight into that back leg. And then as we get to the top, you can see he doesn't get all the way to parallel. He gets pretty close though here with the shaft. Tons of bend here in this front leg. And then as we shift into the downswing, you can see he bumps that hip towards the target through that plane line, and then his head starts to drop farther down and farther back behind the golf ball. Take that circle off so you can see a little better. And then look at the shaft here. You can see hands in front of the club head there. His hands are even with the golf ball and his club head's still coming down. But you can see he's hitting up on the ball as he makes contact. Look at the shoulder angle now. I mean, just massively hitting up on it. And then as he gets through the follow through, you can see all that weight shifts right onto that front leg, and he's just basically standing straight up on that front leg. Nice high finish. So balanced. Beautiful, beautiful driver swing. Let's take a look at his iron swing, and let's see if we can spot some differences here. So the iron swing here, we're going to start with the down the line. His little trigger is kind of a flex of his knees, you can see. Flexes his knees, and then he starts his backswing. Brings that club a little bit inside. Head's in a great spot. Again, kind of bends that front leg quite a bit to get that weight shift back in to that back leg. And as he gets to the top, again, he's got a little bit of a wrist bow at the top there on his gloved hand. Great position here. Again, kind of a shorter backswing, doesn't get all the way to parallel. Head has already started to drop. And then as he gets into that slot area, you can see he's dropping above the plane line. He usually likes to play a little bit of a cut. He's coming right over the top of it, just a little bit. Great position here. Club is at parallel. You can see it's right down his target line. Right. And again, notice his head has dropped quite a bit. Those hips flipping, belt buckle to the target. He's hitting down on the golf ball. Again, that right elbow is tucked right into that hip area. And then the same patented nice little high finish and super balanced follow through. You'll be able to tell a little bit more difference here on the face-on view. Let's take a look. So on the face-on view, you can see his feet are a little bit closer together. Still got a little bit of slight flare on his toes. Looks like he's hitting, based on ball position, it looks like he's hitting probably like a 7-iron. But his feet are definitely closer together here, about shoulder width apart. Let's take a look and see if he has any kind of sway backwards. Again, you got that slight knee flex, and then he has a, again, keeping it very low on his takeaway. Not much movement in his lower body. He bends that front leg, getting that weight shifted all the way back onto that back leg. And then as he reaches the top, you can see well short of parallel here. I'm not sure if this is a full shot or not, but that's, you know, typically if you're going to have a full shot, a lot of golfers will get closer to parallel at the top, but he's a little bit short of parallel, which is totally fine. And then that's when he starts the downswing. You can see he bumps that left hip again towards the target. And then one thing I want you to notice here is he's a lot of lag. Once he gets that left arm pretty much parallel, he's got a lot of lag in that shaft. And he's coming down a little steeper. You can see this is a more downward angle of attack there. But again, notice his head. His head has dropped significantly and has moved back behind the golf ball just a little bit. So the whole, you have to keep your head super still throughout the golf swing is kind of a myth. It's not really a thing anymore. And then as he comes through impact, he hits ball first and then the ground. And he's just flips those hands. But you can see as he makes contact, he's holding that face open. You can see the face is still open at this point. He just hits a slight cut. And then again with the beauty, high finish, the unreal balance as he finishes. So That's going to be Xander Schauffele. Be sure to go check out a few of my other videos. Be sure to drop a like on this one and be sure to hit that subscribe. I really appreciate it. Have a good one.